how's everybody doing? Welcome back to Ask That Podcast. First off, huge thank you to Bat32 of Sleaze Magazine, where we're publishing Exploited Cinema Podcast. He hooked me up with this. I buy pretty much, not as they come out, but, he's only put 2 out a year. Usually, towards the end of the year, I'll go, okay, there's 2 issues Grindhouse Purgatory out, I'll go buy them. Well, he hooked me up, he sent me a copy. I'll explain why in a little bit, but thank you, Bat, and y'all know Bat32 does videos on here. Matter of fact, just recently, as a filming, he did one on the Grand Illusion Tom Savini card set. It was a great video. Great video. Thank you, man. I love that. So let's get started. We got issue 10 of Grindhouse Purgatory. Obits and Sexuality, where we celebrate coming and going. Now, let's see what we got. Goodbye 2020 and fuck you. And he talks about, Pete talks about all the shit that went on. And then we get this nice page about everybody that's passed since last issue. Kamala, the wrestler, Sean Connery, Tracy Smothers, Beverly Bonner, Chuck Bale, who I did not recognize until I started reading the stuff. David Prowse, Pat Patterson, Hugh Casburn, Carter Stevens, Gary Clark, Dawn Wells, and Barbara Shelley. Tanya Roberts, John Huber, Steve Carver, Carmine Capilbanco, Mike Figueroa, and Julie Strain. An article here. King of Infinite Space. I have not read that one yet. Okay, this is one on Carter Stevens. There's young Pete and Carter. Pete's always looked sleazy. You notice that? Little remembrance of Gary Clark. And most of my understanding is, if you don't see a name credited to it, Pete wrote it. Actress Leslie McRae, who I'm like, okay, why do I know her name? And it's because I just recently watched the Al Amundsen documentary, Blood and Flesh: The Real Life and Horrible Death of Al Amundsen. Okay, good little interview. Dr. Sex Review by Robert Freese. This is Ted V. Michaels' film. A Brief History of Smut. This was great. Going all the way back to the porn woodcuts and the French postcards and the stereoscope and phone sex, kintoscope, mutoscope, silent air, camera clubs, instant camera stag films, modern color separation in men's magazines, new playing cards, deep throat, home computer games, new women's stripping, cable TV, home video, CD-ROM, DVD, the internet, the smartphone, and virtual reality. And I'm going to throw this out there. I have seen, oh God, back when I was old enough to buy porn mags and movies and all that shit. I was under 18. I think most states it is 18. Some of them might be 21. It was not easy to get a hold of shit when you were a teenager back then. Area I grew up in, there was not cable until, I was like 15, 16 years old. I was 16 when cable came through out there. So you didn't even have I'll catch some titties on HBO, yeah. And we didn't even have HBO on our cable. We had Showtime Movie Channel and Disney Channel. That was the premium channels. The way you got a hold of it was either you knew somebody old enough that would go buy you like Douche or Playboy or Hustle or whatever, or you found your dad's stash of magazines. Everyone saw a videotape. Videotapes were the hardest shit to come by. Like, really hard to come by. I don't know if I ever mentioned on video before, but I made some good money in high school because when I had high school, I was working a job. And I realized, I'm not making that much. And plus, I was working at a comic shop, so some of these things. I'm like, I need more money. I was like, well, what is the 2 things that I can get access to, not hard to get access to, and sells for a good amount, and it's easy to hide? I was like, well, porn on VHS or pot. I'm like, man, if I get busted selling pot at school, that's legal issues. Get kicked out of school, gotta go to alternative school, all this shit. But if I get busted with porn, they confiscate and send me home for 3 days. And how I got hold of the porn, this is real simple. Not too far from where I live now. We used to come up every Thanksgiving week, and then after Christmas, from Christmas to New Year's, when I was out of school, to a little area in mid-Mississippi. Little pissant town, ain't nothing out there. And the people we stayed with had a C-band satellite dish with a descrambler. Well, the only TV in the house was in the living room, which was right next to the room where my parents and them sat and played cards and bullshitted all day and all night until they went to bed. But they always went to bed about 10, 11 o'clock, so I just stay up all night, put tapes in the VCR and record, because yeah, descrambling, there's a C-band satellite, just record porn off the satellite. And, you know, made copies, because I had 2 VCRs in my house. And so these things, and I started off, I started off charging $15 for one movie on the tape. If you didn't provide the tape. If you provided the tape, I think I charged 10. And I realized I was getting inundated with so many people wanting the shit that I raised it up to 20. If you want 2 movies on tape, it was 30. Made a pile of money. Well, of course, now you can't do that, because, I mean, most people have a fucking smartphone pull out and they can look up shit on that. But it blows my mind how technology, and porn pushes technology. Adventures in Porno Land. It's a nice little article by Robert Sedgy. Insatiable, a review of Insatiable with Maryland Chamber. I actually have the DVD release of that. Really good release. Piracy and porn. Who are you going to call? This is about, you know, how porn, you know, there was a big piracy. Like I was talking about, you know, people would rent the movie. Because I never ran into a single VHS porn tape that had copy protection on it. Because back then, I did not have, I can't remember what you call the thing now, little device you pass your cables through and it stripped the macrovision or cause it not to work. I can't think what the fuck is, like a clear red or something. Like, you can buy them at Radio Shack. Video stabilizer, what they call them. There was a brand that made good ones. And the other thing was, there was a video store, I forgot to mention this earlier, there was a video store in town that, once I was a senior, I was 17, but I looked older, and I had an account there, and they just assumed that I was old enough and they'd let me rent. Especially, like, my dad didn't live there with us at the time. He was living out in Texas. My mother was back and forth, but usually in Texas. I would just go and rent like 6 movies and hook up the video, like on the weekend, hook the 2 VCRs up and start making a master copy for me, and that's why I made the copies all for everybody else. And I did this shit, you know, I did EP mode, you know, my masters were SP, but copies of everybody else were EP mode. Russ Meyer double features. Love old Russ Meyer. Wish more of his stuff was easier to get a hold of. I'll explain why when I get to it while Bat sent me this. Wild Dallas Honey, another porn review. A lot of porn reviews in this issue. Titillation. Here we go. This is why I'm going to pull it in. Jane Mansfield, Blue Collar Bombshell by Bat32 and Seaman Cox. The Seaman Cox in question is my father. I've tried to get him to tell the story on his YouTube channel. He doesn't want to. He actually met Jane the night before she died. Let's see here. I'll read that part to you. That's a nice long article on Jane. In 1967, Mansfield was in Biloxi, Mississippi for an engagement at the Gus Stevens Supper Club. My friend, Navy sailor Seaman Cox, I was like, don't put Dad's full name, you know. He was a seaman. Not then, he was out already. Members of the last shows. Late June 67, I rode my new motorcycle at the Gus Stevens Supper Club. Got to have a few drinks and watch Jane perform. Not long before Jane's act was over, my future wife got dropped off. She just went to work for the day. Out in the parking lot, we're getting ready to head home. Can I get a ride on your motorcycle? Turn around, there was Jane. I wanted to scream, yeah, sure, hop on, but my girl was there with me. Asked her if she minded, got told go ahead and give her a ride. And for about 15 minutes, I went up and down Biloxi Beach with Miss Mansfield on my bike. I dropped her off by a huge-ass Buick. That thing was a beauty, too. Mansfield saw the camera my girl had and asked if I wanted a picture of her. I said yes. And my lady snapped a picture of Jane and I sitting on my bike. I wished him well and took my girl back to her place. I laid down and fell asleep thinking, damn, I got to give Jane Mansfield a ride. The next morning while at work, I heard the horrible news. A few hours after the picture was taken, that big-ass Buick was in an accident. Jane and the other 2 adults in the car died. Thankfully, the kids were safe. We lost the picture during Hurricane Camille. He was, my buddy, Bat, was telling me, he's like, I'm doing this article on Jane. I'm like, well, dude, ever told you about my dad got the meter? And he's like, no. And I started telling him, he's like, oh, that is perfect. You know? It's like, wow. You know? And this is a story, there's a weird thing. This is the kind of story my dad would, all this kind of shit he tells me. You know, when I was about 13, he told me all kinds of crazy stories. This one, I didn't know about this shit till my mother mentioned it, like, I was pushing 20. I was in the service, and she told me, I'm like, holy shit. So it made a nice little addition to Bat's article. Great article on it. It's about British pornography, which is always weird. Come play with me films. Lady Terminator. Oh God, that movie is insane. It's Indonesian, like crazy gore film, just crazy insane shit. Hopefully you're hearing my voice. I'm sorry, but it is hot here at Casa del Asshat. I'm turning the air on. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and reveal when I'm recording this. This is early April. This will probably not be up till May or June because I film way in advance, as y'all know. Sweet Savage, Pouring Goes West. The Fragile State of Warriors. Now, I've not read this one at all. Satan's Children. I filmed in Florida mindfuck. Forgotten Horrors, The H-Man. I've actually seen this, but it's been a long ass time. I don't remember a lot about it. The Night the Butcher Got Burned. Abdul the Butcher. That's what I love about Pete. He not only does the movie, he does wrestling. And I need to get in touch with Pete. I got some wrestling stories to tell Pete. Yeah. See if he'll print them up in here. It's about Abby getting burnt. What Vile Actions. Oh man, I have not read this one yet. The Near Murder of Tully Blanchard by Dusty Rhodes. I like how this is laid out. I've had this for a little bit. Oh, Playboy Gary Hart. Great. I'm reading, currently I'm reading the Playboy Gary Hart book. And no, I don't own a copy. I have there's 2 PDFs floating around of like the first draft. I have the one that's missing the chapter about I think it's missing the chapter about one of the plane crashes. I'm one of the people, I'm not going to go grocery shopping if I'm hungry. So to make sure I'm not hungry while I'm grocery shopping, I always go around lunchtime, stop, usually Waffle House, but the only place any place in town you go inside and eat. Sit down, order my lunch, and sit there and I have my tablet with me, which I got the PF, and I lean up against the napkin dispenser and sugar, and I'm starting to read my book as I'm eating. And it's unusual in this town. I noticed back in the day before I had my tablet and all that shit, I'd bring a book with me. And read people, you pull a book, people just stare at you like, what's a book? And it ain't the Bible? It ain't the phone book? What the hell? You read on a tablet or the phone, people don't think shit about it because they're staring at their phones. Because they claim they don't read, but they're watching Twitter and Facebook and Instagram all day. Gary and Dingo Warrior, a.k.a. Ultimate Warrior. I just got to the part where they something like that. Blu-ray Report. MVD Triple Features. Joe D'Amato's Oddest and Best Black Emmanuel film. Emmanuel and the Last Campbells and Emmanuel in America. I've seen both, and Emmanuel in America is fucked. She's not in America a lot. It's got like fake snuff footage and a woman jacking off a horse. And like, there's a couple scenes that it's pretty much, it's hardcore porn in a few scenes, not with the horse, thankfully. But yeah, Last Cannibal, it's a cannibal flick. Good long article. Damn, really good long article. Yeah, talking about how horrible 2020 was. Yeah, it was. It was kind of fucked up. Shot Cinema ad. Books for sale. And a couple of blank pages. Great little zine, definitely worth the money. You get it on Amazon or you can get it directly from Pete. And they have Kindle version if you don't want a print version. I'm a print person. But man, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Thank you, Bat. I don't know if you want me advertising your YouTube channel. Yeah, well, fuck it. Search YouTube for Bat32. That is Bat's channel where he puts up movies. I was shocked when he told me the name Bat32 hadn't been taken. I'm like, wow, that's a great name. He's got some kick-ass shit up there. He's got the TNT cut of Needful Things. I don't know the movie Needful Things. It's heavily edited for the actual release, just because of time. Well, I don't know how this happened, but when it started airing on the channel TNT, they added back in a lot of the cuts. They cut out some stuff, cut some language, because it's already film. They added back in a pile of stuff that had been cut. So instead of it being, what was it, about 2 hours, it's like a 3.5 hour movie. And he actually found a copy and threw that up on Pirate 2. So go check out Pirate 2. All right, everybody, I'm out. As always, remember, give me that thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe, all the other bullshit. Talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.